contentment. Let me allow for those to come and receive it. Pray for them. I want you to close your eyes for a moment. Just listen to what I'm going to tell you. I want you to use your sanctified imagination. Stop for a moment and picture a place with me. Lean your head back and close your eyes. And imagine a place that's more peaceful than any you have ever known. Yeah. Life is not perfect in this place, but it is peaceful. You're not in a hurry to do anything. You're not submerged in the demands of others. There are houses near yours, but not on top of where you live. There are no pressures to buy or do anything that's abnormal. You don't hear horns. You don't hear traffic hassles. You don't have to rush to appointments. You even hate the phone when it rings. It's just time. Lots of time to do things you need to do. There is room to breathe. There's room to walk. There's room to think. You live in a modest home. Your kids sometimes wear hand-me-downs. But your family is happy. And your needs are being met. Now look at that. No wonder when you read the book of Proverbs, does God remind each of us that there are some equations that you can never, ever forget. Yes. Matter of fact, write this down. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 8 and 9. It will revolutionize your life. It changed my life again this week. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 8 and 9. And here's what it says. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with the food that is my portion, that I may be full. And deny you and say, who is the Lord? Or that I not be in want and steal. This is what the Jones wrote down. And profane the name of the Lord. Therefore, I have a question for you. Where are you this morning? Where are you? Are you in this building but your soul is somewhere else? Are you in this building and yet you are not happy with what you have? You look around at others and you measure your happiness based upon what you think other people have.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And deep down inside, you may have some stuff, but you don't have the peace and the joy, the contentment that you should be having.
Great.
So I come to ask you some things this morning. I want you to, I'm not asking you to do anything like profane the name of the Lord, because some people, when they don't think what they get, they think God has done them wrong.
That's right.
And so I've got some questions for you. Where are you? since you are resting in the Lord and taking each day as it comes, if hardship arrives, it won't sink your ship because you left room for the inevitable. Are you looking at me? Sounds so good, doesn't it? To say it in a word. The place I'm describing is contentment. Stay with me. Contentment, brothers and sisters. Well, I really took me this week. Contentment, brothers and sisters, is not having a lot of money. It's not where you live. It's not how many degrees you have. Contentment is a pattern of thinking. And it replaces the wilderness attitude that we have. Let me see if I can help you. Write this down. Attitude number 1. Find every move you make in replacing covetous thinking that plagues all of us with true biblical contentment. It is a step for you to move out of the dry and dead into happy and whole. Let me see if I can say it plainly. Contentment is the atmosphere in the promised land that replaces the wilderness attitude that we had before we left. Every move you make is replacing the covetousness thinking that plagues all of us with true biblical contentment. It is a step out of the dry and the dead into happiness and wholeness. So come with me and let's examine this particular text because I want you to see this. The first thing, if you were taking notes, that you need to write down is the biblical path to contentment. The biblical path to contentment. I'm going to give you some equations. You need to never forget these. Most of us don't know that contentment can be found if we follow the proper path. It's right here in the text. 1 Timothy 6:10. Let me read it again because you need to hear this. But godliness actually is a means of great gain when accompanied by contentment. For we have brought nothing into the world, so we cannot take anything out of it either. When we have food and comfort, with these we shall be content. But those who want to get rich fall into temptation and a snare, and many foolish and harmful desires, which plague men into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is the root of all sorts of evil. And some by longing for it have wandered away from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs. Let me define contentment. Contentment, kind of a nice word, isn't it? So you need to take a deep breath and absorb the crisp, clean air, sky, my contentment. But what does that mean? And how do I get there? Here is a definition. Contentment is a satisfaction with God's sufficient promises. Let me give you another definition. Contentment is a satisfaction with God's sufficient provisions. Satisfied. You don't need anything else. You are satisfied with what God has entrusted you with. I said satisfied with God in what one has already had and seeking nothing else more.